the H controller of your new Blast Chiller Shock Freezer. When you first plug in the unit, the on-off button will flash and it'll say off in both of the displays. When I turn the unit on, I will now have 3 lights flashing. These are your choices for either blast chilling or shock freeze cycles, and let me walk you through those. Soft is a chilling cycle which will take product from 200 degrees or above at the core to 37 degrees in less than 90 minutes. Hard is also a chilling cycle which will do, again, take product from 200 degrees at the core to below 37 degrees in 90 minutes. Shock freezing is a freeze cycle which will take product from above 200 degrees at the core to 0 degrees in 4 hours or less. How do you determine whether you should use soft or hard? The soft cycle is used for product that you do not want to risk edge freezing or freezing the product. Delicate items such as lettuce, mayonnaise-based products, other salads, pasta salads, etc. Hard is for larger items, bigger pieces of meat, larger loads of product, such as if I had 40 pounds of chicken breast, etc. Shock freeze is for whatever you want to freeze to 0 degrees at the core. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate the soft automatic cycle, which uses the probe and is automatic based on the temperature of the product. First, I would select the soft cycle. Now you see that the automatic or manual buttons flash. I hit the automatic button, which is, I'm going to use the probe, which the machine will control automatically. And now I'm going to hit the start button. I now will put some broccoli in to the chiller. I'm going to take my probe and I'm going to insert it into the core of my broccoli. I now can close the door, and the unit will run until the broccoli hits 37 degrees at the core, at which time the unit will automatically go into hold mode and hold the product at 37 degrees until I stop it. As you can see, the broccoli temperature is 102 degrees and the air temperature is 67. The air temperature will come down to between 30 and 34 and will continue to run at that temperature until the core temperature hits 37 degrees, in which case I can then stop the unit and remove the broccoli. I'm going to demonstrate the hard automatic cycle. Again, I choose the hard cycle. I have the choice between automatic and manual, and I'm going to use the automatic cycle, which is going to require the probe. I'm going to hit the start button, and now what I'm going to do is I have a piece of roast pork. So I'm going to put the pork in the blast chiller. I'm going to take the probe and insert it into the thickest center point of the roast. I now can close the door, and the unit is going to run until the pork core temperature hits 37 degrees. At that point, the unit will go into hold and remain in hold until I come over and I stop the unit. I'm now going to demonstrate the shock freeze mode. Again, I select the shock freeze cycle, I select automatic, and I select start. I now put the item into the shock freezer, I insert the probe into the center, and I close the door. The unit will now run automatically until the core temperature gets to 0 degrees, in which case it'll then go into hold until I come over and I stop the unit. I'm now going to demonstrate the manual mode. Whether you select soft, hard, or shock freeze mode, it's important to remember that the machine is going to run strictly for a period of time and then go to hold mode, irregardless of the temperature at the core of the product. So it's something that you need to confirm the food is at the proper temperature prior to removing it from the chiller. For example, if I hit hard and then manual and start, the machine is going to run for 30 minutes at -4 degrees Fahrenheit, and then for 60 minutes from between 30 and 34 degrees Fahrenheit, or the soft chill mode. Why the machine automatically does that is, in the first 30 minutes we're trying to draw as much heat out of the product as possible, and then when the product has got cool enough, it's going to remove the rest of the heat without freezing the outside of the product. I'm now going to demonstrate the shock freeze manual mode. I select the shock freeze cycle and the manual cycle. As you can see, the time is showing 4 hours. When I hit the start button, the unit is going to run from -30 to -40 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 hours and then go to 0 degrees in hold mode until I stop the unit. Again, you have to verify that your product has gotten to the temperature that you want it at before removing it. Again, the unit comes preset at the factory, 90 minutes for chilling cycles manual and 4 hours for freeze cycle manual. If you would like to change the time refer to your owner's manual, and it'll give you instructions on how to change the time for your manual cycles. Now I'm going to explain to you the 4 buttons on the lower part of the controller. The first button with the 3 drops is the defrost button. It's for controlling the manual defrost of the unit. This button here, the UV sterilization button, is if you have the optional UV sterilization system installed. The third button is for probe heat. When you've shock frozen a product and the probe is stuck in the product, you can use the probe heater button, which will heat the probe for 5 seconds so it's easily removed. And then you have the print button, which is for an optional handheld printer. I will demonstrate to you how to use the probe heat. When I'm finished with the shock-free cycle, and I've used an apple here just to demonstrate, I can hit the probe heat button and the probe will be removed from the apple. I'm now going to demonstrate the defrost cycle. When I have finished chilling or freezing the products that I need to do, I hit the stop button on the unit. I now can open the door and leave the door open. The door must be open for the defrost cycle to operate. I hit the defrost button. It's preset again at the factory for a 30-minute defrost. You'll notice the start button is flashing. I hit the start button and the fan will come on. The unit will run for 30 minutes and defrost the unit. If I close the door, I'll get an error message telling me that the door is closed and I need to keep the door open until the defrost cycle has been completed. At the end of the defrost cycle, you have an option of, during the defrost cycle, of removing the drain plug or letting the water accumulate in the unit. We recommend that you remove the drain plug. Move your shelf and take the drain plug and leave it inside the unit so you don't lose it. The water will now drain down the drain automatically. At the end of the cycle, the unit will shut off, or you can shut it off if you feel that it's been defrosted enough, and then you just take the drain pan out, being careful not to spill any water, and you simply throw the water away, get rid of it, put the drain pan back in the unit, and you're ready to go again. I'm now going to demonstrate the UV cycle if your unit is been furnished with a UV light, which is optional. You select the UV button. The unit is automatically preset at the factory for a 30-minute UV cycle, which we recommend. You hit the start button. Now we've set up this unit so you can actually see the UV light in operation. There you can see the UV light on. Normally when you open the door, the UV light will immediately shut off so as not to damage anyone's eyes. But at the end of 30 minutes, that unit will automatically shut off. Again, when I open the door, that's normally what you would see. If you have purchased the optional handheld printer, you would insert the serial port connected here to the front of the unit, and then you can hit the print button at the end of the cycle to track your HACCP documentation.